Hello. Um, this is a paper about wealth concentration and speculative bubbles. I am Tomohiro Hirano of Royal Holloway, University of London. Let me first explain my motivations in this paper. Since the 1980s, top-end wealth concentration has been occurring. At the same time, from the late 1990 to the middle of 2000, we also had IT bubble or housing bubbles that eventually led to large macroeconomic fluctuations. So these facts imply there might be some connection between top end wealth concentration and the formation of speculative bubbles. Okay. So based on this motivation, I'm going to develop a simple macroeconomic model with heterogeneous agents that generates the stationary distribution of wealth with Pareto tail endogenously. Okay, and then in this paper, we mainly show 3 points. The first one is that I want to show you that top end wealth concentration can be a signal of the formation of speculative bubbles and of the coming of macroeconomic instability. So this means that top end wealth concentration and the formation of speculative bubbles are the flip side of the same coin. And this also implies that when there is a greater top end wealth concentration, this is an indicator of the formation of risky bubble and of the coming of greater instability. Greater macroeconomic stability. So when I say risky bubbles, that means that the bursting probability of bubble is very high. So the key intuition is simple. Okay. So in my model, the key is leverage. So high leverage increases the rate of return difference between productive agents and unproductive agents. And also this also means that when we think about the variance of asset returns, the variance of asset return also very high. And that produces, so the volatility is very high in asset returns, and that produces greater top end wealth concentration. Okay. At the same time, in my model, when leverage gets sufficiently high and exceeds a certain critical point, then speculative bubbles can emerge. Okay, so when I say speculative bubbles, in this model, there is a financial asset, and this financial asset doesn't produce any real cash flow. So that the fundamental value of this asset should be zero. But under some conditions, the price of this financial asset can be positive. So this means that speculative bubbles can emerge. Okay. And if leverage gets even higher, and this produces a much greater wealth concentration at the top, and this also generates even riskier bubble. Okay, so the next figure, the figure in the next page illustrate this situation. Okay, so when I take the value of theta, so the value of theta captures leverage, and in the horizontal axis I take inverse of Pareto exponent. Okay, so when the value of theta is sufficiently low, there is no bubble, so bubbles cannot arise. Okay, but when the value of theta increases, and this will produce a more top end wealth concentration, and when the value of theta exceeds a certain threshold, that's the theta 1, then even speculative bubbles can emerge. Okay, and moreover, there is another critical value of theta above which even risky speculative bubbles can occur. Okay, so in this sense, leverage can generate both uh, greater wealth concentration at the top and generates the possibility of a speculative bubbles. Okay, this is the first result. Okay, and the second result of this paper is that we so I consider the effect of technological or financial innovations, meaning that technological or financial innovations contribute to greater top-end wealth concentration and to the formation of speculative bubbles that results in macro fluctuations. Okay, so the next page figure illustrate this result. Okay, so this is again actually the same figure as before, and for example, when the value of theta is sufficiently low, say theta 3, when the value of theta is equal to theta 3, that is non-bubble region. Okay, so before financial innovations, the economy is here. So the level of wealth concentration at the top is low, and there is no bubble. Bubble cannot emerge in this region. Okay, but once suppose that there is financial deregulation or financial innovations that can increase the value of theta and leverage gets higher. And as a result, if there is no bubble, the level of inequality increases up to this point. Oh, up to this point. Okay, but once speculative bubbles can arise, the speculative bubbles can provide equal opportunities for everybody to make money. So that reduces wealth concentration at the top. Okay, so once bubbles emerge, the level of inequality is reduced from this point up to this point. Okay, but when you compare the level of inequality before and after financial deregulation, the level of inequality is here. Okay, but after financial deregulation, together with the emergence of speculative bubbles, the level of inequality increases up to this point. Oh, up to this point. Okay. And the similar result can be obtained when we consider the effect of technological innovations, meaning that before technological innovation, there is no bubble and the level of inequality is sufficiently low. But after technological innovations, the economy enters the region where bubbles can arise. And if there is no bubble, if bubble didn't arise, the level of inequality increases up to this point, from this point up to this point. But once speculative bubbles can arise, the presence of speculative bubbles provide equal opportunities for everybody to make money and reducing wealth concentration at the top. But when you compare the level of inequality between before and after technological innovations, before technological innovation, the level of inequality is here, but after technological innovations, uh, uh, and when we consider the effect of bubbles on wealth concentration, the level of equality becomes here. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is the three main result in this paper. Okay. Thank you.